guys, it's your girl Matt Cox here with MA Couture Crafting. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I want to talk with you, so please like, comment, and subscribe. All right, let's get into it. I have been asked, where do I start if I want to start quilting? And that seems like a loaded question because it's like, what? I can only tell you what I have done and what I've known, but I've only been sewing for 2 years. And I don't know if I'd say 2 years because 2020 was a wash. So I started at the very end, December of 2018, and I just took off from there. And I was just obsessed with it. I can't stop. And so I want to have other people come along this journey with me. But you guys are like, but where do we start? We want to sew too. Like it's on you guys' spirits to sew. But you guys just, are scared. And I get it because I was scared. I kept saying, I need more room. I need more space. Where am I going to do this? I don't have the things. At the end of the day, all you really need is a sewing machine, a cutting mat, a ruler, cutting machine, some fabric, some thread, and, you're good. Really, it's that simple. There are a couple of people that I watch. If you start trying to follow all the people on YouTube, it just gets to be a mess. It gets to be overwhelming. It's too much. So I follow a few people, and the people that I follow have beginning tutorials. There's one woman who does a quilt that I think is smart. It's a very smart beginning quilt. And I think her name is, what is her name? Marlene, or I don't know. I'll have to link it down below because I do not remember her name. I think it's Marlene Hahn or Marilyn Hahn, something along those lines. But what she does is she takes some squares and sews them together. And that's one of the places where I think you can start. It's a great place to start, actually. So squares, they come in like these things. They're 5-inch squares. They call them charm packs. And they also have something called layer cakes, which are 10-inch squares, which are a little bit bigger. And I think that a full quilt is the way to go. I know that some people are super scared to start with a full quilt. I jumped in sort of. Actually, that's not true. I didn't jump in with a full quilt. I started with a pincushion, and then I did my sewing pad, and then I did a sewing machine top, and then I jumped into my first quilt. But I think the way to go is to start with a full quilt. And you don't need a super amazing machine to do that. You do need a machine with just a little bit of space to be able to kind of quilt it yourself if that's what you're going to do. But really, you can get a starter machine. The machine that I use is something that I consider a starter machine. Now, I know people's price ranges for things is different. So my machine cost me, I think, $300, and I'm really pleased with that machine. I've been able to do quite a bit. My dream machine is the Brother Luminaire 2. I think it's the Luminaire 2. That's my dream machine, and that will be the next machine that I buy because I know that this is it. Like, this is what I'm going to be doing. Quilting just takes me someplace that I never knew I needed to be. And once I found it, it was like being able to find home. Like, that's where home is, at the sewing machine. So I know for me, it's worth the investment to just go on ahead and get the best machine that my money can buy. So that's what we're going to do eventually. I'm going to grab that when we move. So for you guys, just grab a sewing machine. I really like that Singer machine. I know that they have some nice Brother machines and Joann's and whatnot, and you can catch it on a sale. Get a machine and just start sewing. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of different quilts that I think are really nice to start with and really look impressive, especially if the first quilt you make you want to be able to give away. There are a couple that don't require your seams to necessarily match, although if you just sew the squares together, that's a really good one to start with because you will learn how to match your seams and why that's important. So simply sewing squares together is a really good place to start. And then right after that, I would learn a half square triangle. Half square triangles will change your life. By changing the size of the half square triangle and simply just turning it, it gives you so many different options you would not believe. And that's where I would start. I don't want to make this video super long. We could talk about it forever, but really just start. You can, of course, start with some of these little mug rugs too if you're too intimidated to start with a full quilt. But I think you should start with a full quilt, even if it's just a baby quilt. Just do it, and when you finish, and if you love it, then try to take on something a little more. Maybe I'll do a video of like my top 5 quilts that I think you should start with, and then where to go from there. Because I have tried all kinds of stuff, and I tried some things a little too quickly that did not come out nicely. Did I still gift them? I did. But in hindsight, I'm like, ooh, I wish I hadn't done that. So you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. But really, where to start is just start. There will never be a perfect time to start quilting other than right now. So that is my best tip for you guys. If you guys have any more questions, please leave them in the description bar. And I will talk with you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.